Today, on another Outside the Box review, we are taking a look at the Terminator Series 2 Battle Damaged Tech Noir T-800 figure from NECA. Ironically, as much as I wanted my normal Tech Noir and my Police Assault T-800 from this movie, this was the first one I think I ever really talked about seeking out. Back over the summer, you may remember I did a review of the Man or Machine T-800 from Terminator 2, and I mentioned that one reason I wanted that figure was just to have this guy up next to him and have the messed up arm Terminator side by side. So, as much as this isn't really as much of an iconic figure as the other two, I still think he's a pretty cool addition to the set, and I think NECA was smart from bringing him along. I also had not realized when I went to go buy this figure how much of a span of the movie NECA was intending to cover with this one figure. And to some degree, if you're a completionist from the movie, you're almost going to want to pick up two. First up, we're going to take a look at the weapon that comes with the Battle Damaged Tech Noir, and that is the Ithaca 37 shotgun. This is the police shotgun that he pulls out of the car when he's hunting down Sarah and Kyle Reese. And once again, on NECA's part, it's a pretty nice representation of the weapon. I definitely like that it's not just a solid black. They actually got some nice wood grain going on with it. Actually, I think the paint is really nice if you look here on the stock of it. Some nice wood grain effect, and even the metal looks a little bit brushed. However, I do have some complaints, and at this point I can't put this weapon in the figure's hand. I was trying to get a position before the review, and trying to get it into his hand, I bent the trigger guard and trigger itself to the point where they almost snapped off, and right now I have them super gluing dry. Not too happy when that happens. It's hard to get it into his hand in general, and then once you get it in there, he doesn't exactly hold it very well. He holds it like he's just carrying it, not like he's ready to shoot it. His hand doesn't have enough of a bend to make it look like he's actually going to fire this thing. And that really is disappointing. This is the only gun he comes with. You think if they needed to give us a specialized hand to hold it, they really should have. We'll start off by taking a look at the head sculpt. This, of course, is the battle damaged head sculpt. It kind of comes in package a little weird, since his head sculpt kind of goes with the alternate arm as opposed to the other way around. You can see his eyes all bloody and leaking and all that stuff. He's got some other damage on his face, because I guess it's just blood splatter and that actually cuts, since they aren't in the rest of the movie. The hair on mine, they went a little overboard with the dry brushing on, so it's very brown. Not at all like the other figures in this wave. Actually, my Police Assault, the sunglassed head, has just jet black hair with no dry brushing on it, so I kind of have a lot of inconsistency going on with my heads. But it's still nicely sculpted. I feel like this is a little bit of a better sculpt of Arnold's face, though I could be totally wrong. This could just be a repaint of the battle damaged head. The rest of the body, if you have the other Tech Noir, you got a lot of the same. You have the same undershirt here, still nicely done. The jacket does get some extra work. There's some extra blood on it. No new sculpt, but extra blood on the front here, on the sleeve, and it actually has a dirtier texture to it, looking like it's more covered in dust and dirt and things like that, which is nice. It really doesn't carry on to the back all that much, but it's cool that they kind of showed some time progression with the paint. The hands are the exact same ones we get with the Tech Noir. This one is permanently a trigger hand. Like I said, I would have liked it if they did a special one to hold that shotgun a little better. But it is nice. I like the studded gloves and all that stuff. We have the fist over here. That can be pulled off and swapped out with another trigger hand. Once again, unnecessary. This should have just been a semi-open hand to hold the barrel of the shotgun. But they just really like to reuse parts. I really feel like they shouldn't have bothered reusing these parts. I'm not going to have him holding the shotgun, I don't think, much if ever, so I'm just going to keep the fist on here. Another nice feature, I think I pointed out in my last review, is this metal chain up here. I really like they put a real metal chain. It's a nice addition by NECA. This could have just been rubbery plastic or something dumb, but like the real metal. It gives it a nice look. The pants are well sculpted. Not much to say on them. I've already reviewed them 2 other times with the other figures, as well as the boots. And the paint and sculpt is overall nice. The hands are my biggest problem, and while that is a big deal, there's worse things in life. The alternate head with this figure goes with his current setup a little bit better. It's the undamaged head. It just has the burnt hair. Once again, not the best look of Arnold, not the most accurate view, but it's definitely recognizable as Schwarzenegger, even if it's not the most accurate sculpt. This isn't one I'm going to have on him, I don't think. Once again, I just really don't feel it's a look that I associate with the Terminator all that much, especially with the nice battle-damaged head. So we have the original Tech Noir head on the other figure. The police assault, I'll probably always keep with the sunglasses, and this one I might not even keep with the real head. Now we're getting into the accessory that is my main reason for buying this figure, and that is the surgery arm. Just like the T-1000, you actually unpeg the whole lower arm and replace it, which I think is a really nice feature, and I love that NECA's been playing with that on these figures. It's a really cool thing to be able to switch out arms like that. And in all honesty, this is going to be the arm I have him posed with pretty much all the time. This is why I bought this figure. It's pretty well done. It only really works sculpt-wise when it's bent. You see he has the rolled-up sleeve up here, which is a separate rubbery piece. And the paint on it doesn't quite match the sculpted sleeves. It matches the jacket, actually, a little bit more. But it really stands out being so close. It looks like they tried to add a lot of dirt to it to almost cover up the difference in material. If you straighten the arm, you can kind of see in there, and it doesn't quite look right. So you're probably going to want to keep it bent and pretty much around there in the pose. But the arm itself is really nicely done. You can see some nice gore in there. You can see the metal pins or the armatures within his robot arm. His fingers are actually moved accordingly, just like in the movie, where he's moving them, testing out his hand, and all that stuff. It's a really cool feature, and to me, just total iconic Terminator. Now, with this arm, I don't remember how movie accurate it really is, but I'm probably not going to keep either of the heads that came with this figure on it. I'm probably going to keep the alternate head that came with the Police Assault T-800. I think this is much more fitting to the character. I really feel like this is the head that should have come with this one. And I almost feel like NECA just gave us 2 heads with all of these so that when we put our whole collection together, we could actually make the figures we needed to. I feel like it's the more appropriate look. It's the full surgery scene. You have his arm that he's working on. You have the eye he popped out with the Arnold's puppet head. And this is how I'm probably going to have him displayed. As you can see now, I got the gun back in his hand. It's the other hand, but still, you kind of see how he doesn't really hold it in a way that looks right. It's basically the same for the opposite hand, so a little bit of a disappointment on that factor, as I said before. When it comes down to it at the end, this figure, I think I gave a similar thing to the Man or Machine T-800. It's a conditional recommendation. And I lean more on the side of generally not recommending it. It really depends what parts of the movie you like. Because to me, the iconic scenes truly are the Tech Noir assault when he's first going after Sarah Connor, or at least the correct Sarah Connor, and then the police station, and then from there, kind of the highway chase and stuff. So we have those with other figures. This is kind of the continuation of the Tech Noir with the shotgun and the clean head and all that stuff, and then the scene where he's performing surgery on himself. And I don't feel like those are the strongest points in the movie, so I don't feel like this is more of an iconic look. To me, it's a major thing. I remember as a kid seeing the Puppet Arnold head and just thinking it was the funniest thing ever. I don't think I'd ever seen something that looked so cheap in a movie before as a kid. I think it was the first time I realized that movie makers don't always have the technology they need to make what they want. And it stood out to me. And it's kind of funny, it's become a chicken and egg thing with the Man or Machine figure that I wanted along with it. I saw the Man or Machine version and thought, hey, that would be so cool to get and have next to the battle damaged T1. But then I ended up kind of, at this point, buying the T1 because I had the Man or Machine version. So, having one made me want the other, even though wanting this one made me get this one. So even for me, it's kind of a hard recommendation to myself. It's still a solid figure. If you like the other Tech Noir version, he's still a good figure. It's a very similar figure. If you missed out on the Tech Noir version, this is a decent substitute. He has different hair and different weapons, but he's still pretty cool. So as I said before, it's completely conditional. If you're a big fan of Terminator, or this scene in particular, by all means go pick one up. But if you can leave it, then leave it. It's not really something I feel is an essential part of a Terminator collection. I am, however, going to tack on the warning here of what I feel is coming, is that I don't think we're going to get much more in the way of these Terminator figures. I think NECA has to be reaching the end. The last wave of pure Terminator 2 figures we saw, one based on the 3D show at Universal, and granted they still have a couple more weird configurations of T-1000s they could crank out, but not much beyond that, unless they're going to do some reissues, which would be kind of nice to pick up some of the ones I'm missing, like the machine gun T-800, but I mean, that's about it. As far as the Terminator line itself goes, the original movie, I gotta say they're gotta be close to done. There's not much more in that movie. You got your endoskeleton, your tech noir, battle damaged and non-battle damaged, and your police assault. I think I said it before that it'd be really cool to get a Kyle Reese. I'm not gonna hold my breath. Especially bringing on a new character license at this point, I don't know if NECA's actually going to pull something like that. So, if you're a Terminator fan, that might be the other reason not to skip on this guy, because I don't know how much more is going to be coming. I really don't. So this is wrapping up my reviews, at least for the meantime, on the new series of Terminator figures by NECA. As I said, I'm not sure if I'm getting that T-1000 yet, so don't count on seeing that one on this channel, though you may very well see it in the future, depending on how things go. But don't worry, there's plenty of reviews to show, because I've got a massive backlog to edit and upload, as well as some new figures that I really need to get the video shot on. So stay tuned. This time I truly mean it. There is a lot more to come.